Yes, today is a relatively fun session. We have some exciting things lined up in store for you. Again, it is going to be slightly more theoretical as compared to some of the previous sessions. So just bear that in mind. Have your notebooks ready, have your pens ready.
All right, guys. So before I start with today's session, I have a couple of questions which I would like you to answer. It's okay if you are not sure about it. And even if you feel your answer might be wrong, I would still want you to start guessing, or at least let us know what you understand when we give you those terminologies, so that when I explain you something, it becomes easier for you to understand overall. So today's session is not a software based, or I would say it's not something that you can practice, but it is something which is very important when we talk about BIM, and it becomes very crucial when we are discussing BIM, because if we are missing out on this important part that we are looking into today, we would the BIM as a whole won't be considered, and it would become more of just the software spec. All right. So I would want you all to be very active and answer a couple of questions, just simple questions, after which I will take over and I'll take you through. So first question is, I will put out some terminologies in front of you. Just let me know what you feel about it. So one is common data environment. Common data environment. Even if you give me a BIM based answer, or even if you just give me the answer very specific to these three words that you have heard, it's okay. It has a literal meaning, I would say. So just start guessing. So it's common data environment. So we have understood all this while how Revit works, how what is, why are we putting things on Revit, what are the benefits of using Revit, and we also understood the collaboration part. So this is more of a continuation on that part. So now we know there is a project. We also know there is some sharing of data, and we know it's with different people associated with the project, and there is an environment. So now I'll just reveal what we have been talking about. So common data environment becomes, you have data which is accessible to everybody in a single environment. All right. So let's say if Harish, Asya, Madhusmita, Sanya, we all want to work on one project, and you all are sitting at your own places, and we are not sitting right next to each other. So in that case, you all want to share the Revit files, the Navisworks files, everything with me. I want to share the files with you. So we all need to be on the same page at the same time. So all our data, which whatever is related to the project, is stored at one common place, which is accessible to everybody. All right. So let's start ahead with our PPT today. I'll take you through a quick PPT, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the actual website, or I would say the actual interface of the live interface of how this common data environment works. Right. So there are various common data environments which uh, which are used in the industry, but one of which is widely used, and it's great when you know how it functions. So that is Autodesk BIM360. Now it is also called as Autodesk Construction Cloud. So whenever you talk about BIM, Autodesk product always comes into picture, because that is something that everybody is using it since quite a long time. So Autodesk has introduced a cloud-based server. So just the way we all can access like Amazon, Myntra, all of these apps. Similarly, Autodesk has introduced a cloud-based server or a cloud-based app, which you don't need any high configuration computers or anything at all, but you can do lot more, like sharing of data, viewing of data, commenting on that particular data, reviewing that data. So it has made people's life very easy when you want to get information of a project from anywhere in the world. And you don't need high configuration computers, like you don't need to have a good RAM or everything to actually access a Revit file, but you can access it on the cloud, and it will give you a lot of information. So we'll study how that happens. So just keep two things in mind. One is Autodesk BIM 360 is the name of the common data environment. And second is also now it has upgraded to Autodesk Construction Cloud. So these two names you will come across very frequently when you start working in BIM industry. All right. Now, what does Autodesk BIM 360 do? So Autodesk BIM 360 or ACC, Autodesk Construction Clouds, also the short form is ACC. So I'm going to keep referring to BIM 360 and ACC again and again. So both of these will give you a portal, which is document management, where you can store in all kinds of documents of your project, be it your Revit files, Navisworks files, PDFs, CAD drawings, any of your Excels, any of your technical documents, non-technical documents, any format that you have, which you feel is the information for the project, you can put into your document manager. After which we move into understanding design collaboration. So design and collaboration. So it's everybody working on a single design of the project. The be it your architectural design, be it your structural design, be it your MEP designs, landscape designs, facade designs, anything. So when everybody works together in a collaboration manner, that is the portal which gives you design collaboration. So Autodesk BIM 360 has small packages, and you need to understand which package offers you what information. Coordination. So now we know that when we create Revit models, when we actually start doing models with all different disciplines, there are clashes which are going to happen. There will be a duct which is passing through the beam. There will be a wall clashing into a column. So all such clashes can be taken care into the coordination or the model coordination space. So we did not get into Navisworks sessions, but we will be getting into Navisworks sessions where we understand what all clashes are there in your design, which you need to rectify before the construction actually starts happening. So such kind of coordination, initially we all felt that we need to just do it on Navisworks, and you will need a separate software, you will need to run it on a separate software and all of that. So now Autodesk and Autodesk Construction Cloud has combined it into the server. So you don't need any software, you don't need any high configuration of your PC. All you have to do is just select the models, and it's a very quick process. You can just run your clashes then and there. So anybody who's accessing the project will get to see, okay, there are 100 clashes in my project and so on. All right. After which, let's say you are doing a project and there are some information which you don't know, for which you will have to request somebody. So all of those requests or those requests for information that happens when a live project starts, even that management can be done in Autodesk BIM. There is also a portal which helps you do quality management of your project, be it your site quality, construction quality, your drawings quality, everything. All right. I'm not getting into too much technical terms, but I'm giving you a brief of Autodesk BIM 360 because nowadays BIM projects barely, there is very less chance that it is not on BIM 360. Eventually, it does come on BIM 360. So it's very important for you to know this cloud-based service. All right. So we did understand the fact the other day that how do you synchronize your model, relinquish your model, reload your model. All right. So we know that how can you, when you sync your information, synchronize your information, it gets saved, and then anybody else who's working on it can access it. But that does not mean when you are able to sync your project, that does not mean your project is on BIM 360. When you are locally connected, let's say you have 10 PCs in an office and they all are connected through a server, and at that time also you will have the option to synchronize your model, reload your model, relinquish your model. But with BIM 360, there's this one option which comes in Revit. I'll show you all how it looks in Revit. there is this tab, which in the collaboration tab, you have this option of publish. So when you publish it, a copy of the model gets saved on your cloud. And every time you open the model, you can directly open from the cloud, work on it, synchronize your model. Again, the copy gets saved onto cloud. So you need not have a storage space in your PC to have copies of this model. Or let's say I am sitting in Mumbai and somebody else is sitting in Delhi, and we have a project on BIM360. The moment I synchronize my model, he will be able to see it immediately there, because we are connected through a cloud-based server, which is BIM360. All right. So rather than having a local server, just keep one thing in mind: it's a cloud-based server. Things get stored in cloud. The cloud space lets you store your models. All right. Now, I know things might get a little technical, it might become difficult for you to understand, but just understand basic terminologies of how this cloud-based server works, and you will be able to get hang of it once you start using it on any of the projects. All right. So now, before I take you through this, let me immediately take you through how the interface looks like. So this is how Autodesk BIM 360 or even your Autodesk Construction Cloud looks like. All you will have to do is just this is the page. This is how it looks like. You can get into the login version and you should be able to come to this page. There are different products. So right now, as we were just discussing, document management, project management, quality management, design collaboration. So all of these are solutions which Autodesk has provided to manage your project well in a single common and in a common data environment. So Autodesk BIM 360 is your common data environment to uh, to host all of your project files here. All right. Once you log in to your Autodesk BIM 360, this is how the interface looks like. It's going to let you, so the docs means document management. There are some more of those blue field plans. I'll not take you through that because that is a later part of the project. You won't be requiring now to understand all of that. Account admin lets you do the settings to, if you want to create a new project, if you want to add some people into your into your project. So all of those admin related settings will happen here. And then there will be project homepage. So I'll get into BIM 360 docs. Now, once we are into BIM 360 docs, so Autodesk BIM 360 is used by everybody else because it offers lot of these solutions. So as I was telling you about design collaboration, model coordination, there is a part of project management also which comes here. So just because it allows you with lot of products and lot of solutions, that is why people are adopting, and that is why most of the projects are being taken care on Autodesk BIM 360 or ACES. So here at the top now you will see the name reflects as Autodesk Construction Cloud. Now, when I open document management, this is what I see. I see a tab on the left, and I'll see this center page and then some options here. Whichever ID you log in, you will be able to see the details of the ID that you have logged in at the top right. All right. As I was telling you guys that you can access your PDFs, CAD files, Revit files, everything together. All right. So let me just take you through the PPT now after I've shown you this interface of document management, of what all document management offers. All right, so let me just make this. Okay, so now I've taken out some snippets of one of the project. So the project name comes up here at the top, and you can switch any of the project, or you can have multiple projects. I mean, at the same time, on the single ID of mine, I at least have 25 projects which I can access through this cloud. All right. When I am into model space, when I am into this document management, I will be able to see my Revit model. So let's understand how does this Revit model looks like and how do you access Revit model. Once I select the project that I want to enter into, I will be able to see all its files. So now when I'm organizing my document, I can organize it in multiple manner. You can create subfolders, folders as per your requirement. So I have one folder which says model. I have one folder which says the submissions that I have done. There are some comments which comes from the client. So I have one folder which says comments. There are inputs which come from different consultant like structural engineer, MEP engineer. So I have those inputs. So I can organize my folder structure as per my requirement. There's nothing inbuilt. You can customize it as per your own project requirement and needs. All right. You can create various folders, subfolders. It's completely customized and you can develop your own folder structure. So now let's say I enter on, this is my Revit model. So how do I understand what is my file extension? So you will be able to see .pdf, .rvt, .rfa, .dwg, all of those extensions here. Right now I had RVT here. All right. The description, if I want the name, sometimes the name gets confusing. So I can add a description that this is my architectural model, this is my structural model, etc. Then I can, the numbers that you see here, V55, V53, that is the time the model, the copies of the models are saved. So I have right from V1 to V53, I have 53 copies of this model saved. So let's say at any random point of time, you lose out on some of the data. And if you have published or saved a copy on the cloud server, you can retrieve it back. So there is very less chances nowadays that we completely lose out on the data or the file gets completely corrupted and we have no copies, because we tend to save copies on BIM360, which is a very simple process. You just don't need to drag or anything. It's done directly through Revit and it's manageable on just one click. So let's say I come into a situation where I need the data of June 21 to be used, because I know that that time the design at that time is very important for me. I need to go back to it. So I can make this as my current Revit file. So any data which is of 2 or 3 months back, you can download it. You can use that file and work on it. All right. So I'm not getting into very technical details of how this gets saved, but just understand the fact that once if you have a copy of your models on BIM360, you can access them, retrieve them, download them, copy paste from them. So this becomes like your copies of your model on the cloud-based server. Then it also tells you the size of the model, when was the last model updated on the server, etc. All right, now let's say if I open the model, what do I see? I don't have, let's say I don't have Revit in my PC, but I still want to see the models. I am the client and I still want to see the model the architects have created. And I am not a person who will open Revit, load my model and do everything. So what I'll do is I directly get into BIM 360. I'll just zoom in. I'll I'll rotate my entire model. I'll see, okay, this is what they have done. They have provided a glass door. They have provided some cladding here. So I'll look into all of that. I'll get to see, okay, where are my lift blocks? Where is the canopy? So I can review the entire model. And I don't need Revit for this. I can be sitting on an airport. I just need to log into my BIM 360 and I can still see the model and still see what is the update. But if the architect has not saved the latest copy, I'll be still seeing like 2 months old if it was 2 months old model that was saved last. So whenever I want to see the latest one, I can ask the architects or structural designers saying, please put out your latest models on BIM 360, please publish them so that we can review. So once they publish it and the entire process is complete, you will be able to see the latest model. So if they have published it today, so I'll be, whatever they see in Revit, I'll be able to see it here. Let's say I want to understand what material are they applying here. I can just go and show properties and I'll be able to see, okay, it's a system panel, it's glazed. If they have put in data like cost and everything, I'll be able to see it. What is the dimension of it? What is the area, the width, the height, the thickness? So every data that we see in the properties tab, can we post revision clouds on the modular plan itself? Yes, I'm taking you through that. So you can everything that you see in the properties tab of Revit, everything gets captured here. All right. Even if you have like any text which is associated, any material finishes. So right now we have the material glass silver applied here. So all the properties of this panel which are feeded into Revit, you will be able to see. So now let's say I am the client and I want my architects to mm, resolve this elevation. Maybe I'm not liking it, or this is not what I had anticipated. So I'm going to save this markup. I'm going to add a text box for them, or write a comment for them. So I don't need to take a snapshot of this, put it into a document, save it, email it. No, all of that hassle of transferring information becomes much more easier here. All right. This is getting saved. That is why it's taking some time. So I can just add a text saying revise the elevation. So now what happens when the architectural team, uh, they all will they all will get an email or a notification saying there are some comments on the model. All right. So all they will have to do is again come into BIM 360, just open this model, and they will be able to see all the clouds and everything. So I've not saved it, I've not published it, but so you won't have to take the model, comment, give it back to them just the way we do it in our CAD files. Like, let's say I've given you a PDF, then you will have to draw everything on it, comment on it, then send back the PDF to me, then I'll open the PDF. No, all of that information transfer is easier. It's all in one place. So after 10 days also, let's say I want to see if my comments are been rectified by the architect or no. I'll just have to go here. I'll have to see, okay, I've commented this thing here. Okay, now he has rectified it. So I'll also be able to remember what all I had given them comments. And it gets saved here in the marker. So see, here it's coming out as the clouds that we had made. I can put out an attachment, I can comment, I can ask them to review, I can go select what was the initial data that I had feeded in. So commenting, reviewing, giving out markups, giving out changes, everything becomes easier when you are dealing with BIM 360, and the information transfer becomes much more easier. Now, let's say I don't want to see a 3D, I want to see a floor plan, which is available to me in Revit, but how do I see it in BIM 360? So I'll have to just go through this last tab here on the left, which says levels, and click on level 6. Right now, I don't think I have level 6 here in this building, but I just need to click on level 1. So the moment I click on level 1, do you see how the interface changes? Just see this. Right now I've not selected anything, so I can see the entire 3D model. The moment I select on level 1, everything else is grayed out, and I can only see part of the level 1 elements that I have. If I want to select ground floor, my entire view changes, and it's just letting me view the ground floor. Okay, so let's say I want to see I have created whatever levels I've created in Revit. I should be able to see all of that here. So basements, I only have this ramp, so I'm only seeing this ramp. Ground level, I only have this one floor that I see here. So that is all that is available. So I can link. Right now I'm only seeing the architecture model. But let's say I have architecture, structure, interiors, everything in this. So I can have a consolidated model and view everything together to see where my structural columns are, to see where my shear walls are, beams, interior layouts, landscape, everything can be viewed together. All right. So this ways you can view your models, view the comment on these models. Now let me just take you, if I can, the same thing you can do with PDFs also. Let me just see if I can get you. Okay. Now let's say I have CADs and PDFs in my BIM 360. How can I see them? So I have this one CAD. I have the layout view set for it. It's getting loaded. So I should be able to see this CAD here. I won't even need an AutoCAD to open it. Oh yes, I can't edit anything in this, but I can use it to view it, and I can use it to comment on it, to take the information. Let's say I want this layout. So rather than going and asking again from the concerned person who has done it, all I can do is I'll know the BIM 360 location. I'll just have to go here and download it. So I will have a AutoCAD file of this level. So even AutoCAD files like the DWG you see here, even those are available to you. You can just open again, you can create markups, you can create revision clouds, or if you want to add a text saying uh, this is not updated, that is not updated, this needs to be done. All of that you can do it and store it. All right. So this is about your CAD file. Similarly, you can do it for PDFs also. You can open a PDF, and this is a PDF right now. Earlier we had an AutoCAD. You can open up a PDF and check. Okay, now I just want to check if my design changes are done. They are not done. I just need to check. So I can see the shear wall here. Okay, this is good for me. I can see the staircase. I can see dimensions. Okay, everything is good for me. And then I can give them a approval saying, okay, this works well for me, and I have reviewed your design, and this is great for me. Let's say I am an architect and I need structural guys model. So that also I'll be able to get it on BIM 360, and I can directly add them to my Revit files and use them. So anybody, you can control of what information, who sees it. So there are options here, permissions. Let me just, I think I might not have permission to my ID, but you should be able to see permissions here. And with permissions, you can control. Let's say I don't want everybody to access my all the files. I just want them to access certain files. So I can give out permissions to everybody and restrict the usage of the data that I have to certain people. Or let's say I want everybody to access all the data, I can give out permissions to everybody, and then you can use all the available data that is there on the cloud. So now that we understood document management, we will understand design collaboration. All right. So with design collaboration, so we understood document management. What is the version histories? How can you comment on it? So this is about markups, understanding ways to put out markups into your project. So we understood how those clouds can be put in. uh, you can check which all files are available through various logs available in document management. Now let's move to design collaboration. All right. Now, what is design collaboration mean? So we all are designing a project, one single project, in a very collaborative manner, because we know one person cannot do the entire thing. So we are doing it in one collaborative manner. And when we are doing it collaboratively, it is very important for each one of us to share the information with each other. So now sharing the information, let's say we are doing a group project and one of y'all has taken the responsibility to the plans, other is doing elevation sections. So you will have to eventually share the information. So how did the traditional method, how did the traditional way go like? It was like I take the file, either I transfer it through a pen drive, or hard disk, an email, or a WeTransfer, or a Dropbox, Google Drive, all of this manner. So what Autodesk said is, rather than going through other modes of transport, or I mean the other modes of transfer of information, what you can do is you all can come onto the same platform, that is Autodesk Construction Cloud or BIM 360, and you can share it then and there, and you can easily accept the information once it's shared. So this tab that you see here on the left, it's saying structure, electrical, plumbing, facade, firefighting, interior, landscape, architecture. So I have different teams working in the same project. All right, I have these many teams working here. I have around 7 to 8 teams, so around 8 teams, different teams working on this. Now, this at the center that you see here is the timeline of the project. So the circles that you will see means one of the team has shared the information. So if you see a purple circle, that means architecture has shared it. If you see a blue circle, that means structure has shared the information. Once you see the empty circle, that means uh, it was not shared with everybody, but it was shared with some people only. But once you see a filled circle, that means it is shared with everybody in the team. Once the numbers that you see here at the top, it says that how many people from this entire team that you have there, how many of them has taken the information that you have shared. So sometimes I only see five, so only five of the team has taken the information I have shared. Here you are seeing in the structural timeline that only two people have used this information. Sometimes you will see three. So it's not always that everybody will use all your information, because there are times they might not require the information. So this will tell you who all has used the information that you have shared. All right. So in this transfer of information, how does it happen? So let's say I am into the structural team. I'll click on this plus option here. The moment I click on the plus option, it's going to ask me what do I want to share. And once I click on it, it will ask me, do you want to share all your models or one particular model, whichever Revit file you have, you can select, or the AutoCAD files you have, you can select all those files and then just click on share. The moment you click on share, everybody else gets to understand that okay, structure or architecture team has shared certain things. And then you just need to click on this bubble and you will get an option here saying consume. So consume means you are taking, I am from architecture team. When I consume structural model, that means I'm taking the information from them. I'm taking the information they want to share. So this is just a simpler methodology to not actually transfer files from one person to other, but rather share it on a common platform from where everybody else can access it and use it for their own requirement. All right. As an architect, I would obviously need structural files. How will I know where are the columns? How will I know where is the footing? How will I know where is the slab? What height is the slab on? What is the thickness of the slab? I need to accordingly adjust my walls. Correct. So I am, the moment structure shares the model, you can share it 10 times in a day, 15 times in a week, 2 times in a month. There is no restriction to it. Whenever you feel you have made a major change in your design and you want everybody else to take into their consideration, you can share the information through this portal. They will quickly consume the entire package and they should be able to use it in their drawings. All right. So let's say if there are 10 columns which I have placed, which are new, which nobody else knows because I have changed according to the load requirement. And I want architecture team to now understand that there are 10 more columns which are coming into the project. So I will share my model with them through design collaboration. They will consume it and then they should be able to see those 10 columns in the Revit mode. They don't need to download the Revit file, copy paste the Revit file. No, they don't need to do all of that. If the project is on BIM 360, they just need to consume the package that is shared and you should be able to thoroughly uh, get the information that is shared. All right. So when we set up design collaboration as one of the solutions or as use it as one of the product, the moment we activate it, Autodesk Autodesk creates a folder by itself for each of the team members saying consumed folder. It's created by the Autodesk Construction Cloud. So consumed folder means how many of the different teams folders are you consuming. So once they share it, you will obviously consume it for your use. So you should be able to access it through this particular folder. So this ways, the duplication of files or duplication of information or loss of information is prevented. So it shouldn't happen that one day it comes to me as a surprise that no structure wants, due to the load calculations, they want 10 new columns on ground floor now. So it shouldn't come to me as a surprise after 6 months. Whenever they are doing it and they feel this is freezed, this is what they will definitely need, they can immediately share it. I'll immediately consume it and I should be able to see it. It shouldn't happen that one fine day when a meeting comes up, we all meet, then they show me the PDF, then they show me the AutoCAD files, and then I come to you. No. So the information exchange, the loss of the loss of information and miscommunication can be saved when we are working in Autodesk Construction Cloud. All right. So architecture team will create a package, will share it. It comes into the common data, the shared project data. It comes into design collaboration. Structural team shares the package. It comes into the project data. And now, once it is into this project, shared project data, architecture can also review and consume it. Structural team also can review and consume it. So once it is into the center portion where it's shared, you both, any of the team that is associated into the project can review it and consume the information that is shared. All right. Now, let's say I am an architect. I am an architect. I have 10 of my people working. We all are working on Revit models in my office. So my models becomes a work in progress model because I'm continuously working on it. All right. Right now, when it is a work in progress model, as an architect, only the information is available with 10 of my team members. But when I publish the model through Revit to BIM360, it comes into the published model and it comes into the architectural team folder. Then when I share it through design collaboration, now it's a part of my shared data and all the teams associated can use it. So you can't assume or you can't say that my work in progress model on the left hand side is available to everybody because I have not shared it. Until and unless I don't decide to share it, everybody is not going to be able to see it. All right. So a work in progress model is different, a published model is different, and a shared model is different. It can be the same, but for that you will have to publish in real time. Like you'll have to keep publishing every 1 hour, which is not possible. You'll have to keep sharing after every 1 hour, which is not possible. So what we do is we do a substantial amount of work, let's say in 1 week, in 15 days, in 1 month. Then we publish it and we share it so that people don't get my work in progress information. They get the final information that I want to do. I want to create, let's say, 2 cabins to my into my architectural layout, one cafeteria, and all of that. I will develop the entire layout in a week or so, and that is when I'll share it. I'll just not do, okay, I'm creating 2 cabins today in my office layout and just sharing it up. When you share it, you should be very mindful that the other person is also able to use that information. You cannot be just creating 2 walls into the model and saying that, okay, I've shared the model. No. What is he going to understand out of the 2 models? You need to be very specific. You need to generate a substantial amount of information so that any other team, architectural team, MEP team, landscape team, should be able to see it and then take care of their design accordingly. All right. Clear, guys? Any questions? Nobody has replied yet. I'm still wondering. Am I audible or am I not audible?
You're audible, Shweta.
Okay, thank you, Yashi. So two of the modules we have covered. One is one is design collaboration, where everybody will share the information. And one is, thank you, Sanya. And one is your document management, where you can internally store all the project information. All right. So one part of common data environment we have covered, where you are storing the information in a common place. Second part, we have understood how to share it with everybody. So storing and sharing is something that we have covered. All right. There is a lot of technical aspects to it of how this is shared, if it is not shared correctly, what happens, and how to make sure it is shared correctly. But that is going to be too much of information at the moment because you guys don't use it on a daily basis. You won't be able to catch up to it. So once you start using it, so this is a very paid cloud-based server, so you might not able to go back and practice it. But whenever you start working with any of the companies, they will give out licenses to you through which you can access. So that time you will be at least able to understand how the interface looks like. You won't be blank as in what is this and how do I navigate through this. At least what you will be able to do is that you will be able to log in and at least log in and browse through all of this and know where you are clicking, what is happening. Drop down is going to help you select the project or change the project. Uh, all of this you will be able to just you the moment you start navigating or you start accessing all of these portals, then it becomes clear to you. All right. So we understood about your sharing of information and saving all the information in one place. Now we get into model coordination. All right. So model coordination is nothing but your simple clash detection. All right. Uh, the moment you click on the model coordination space, it gives you these three tabs on the left hand side. One says models. So how many models are there? So all of the models that are part of your project will be visible to here. Second is clashes. All the time it's not going to happen that your model is clash free, your design is so precise that you have no clashes. All right. So you should be able to, sorry, you should be able to identify the clashes that are part of your project. uh, when you deal with a very small residential or a bungalow, very few chances that the clashes come in. But let's say you're dealing with a mall, a hospital, an office building, a housing kind of project where you have lot of floors, you have a lot of buildings coming into the picture. That is when the design starts getting complicated, and you should be and there will be clashes in your models. All right. So this one tab that you see here, it will tell you what models you have. Then you have your clashes, and then you have separate views. All right. So with clashes, it's loading here. What happens with clashes is uh, it's going to tell you that select the models and let us know the clashes. So right now, if I see clashes between two of these models, two random models I've selected, two of these models, there are around 531 clashes, and the other model has around 1050 clashes. All right. Once I get into put files in clashes folder. No, we don't put files in clashes folder. So doc all your files will come from your document management. If you have 100 models in your document management, all of those models will be available to you in your model coordination. All right. Yuja, does that answer your question? But it's a very good question. I missed starting with that point. That if you have two models, if you have three models, if you have four models, any number of models that you have, you should be able to see. You just need to put it into document management, and eventually they will get reflected in your model space. I mean model coordination. Once you put out document models in your document management, they will be visible to you in design collaboration, model coordination, project management. So you don't need to keep putting models again and again in different folders. One folder, and then from that Autodesk will link to all other folders. All right. So now once I select the models and I just run the clashes, I can it's going to show me, it's going to highlight. So now this roof is clashing maybe with this walls. So this is how you will be able to see things in green and red color, or you can change the colors also. So now this wall is clashing with my roof. All right. So it's going way beyond my roof. So such kind of clashes I will be able to see. You can just click on the interface here, and you can just click on the different clashes that you see here. You can also extract the report out of this, so you need not worry. But you should be able to see where all your model elements are clashing. So once you see these clashes, you will get an idea whether you should change your design, or is this a modeling error which somebody has done it, or does this require a revision for the entire area. So such kind of decisions you will be able to make. All right. So now when I see the clashes here in the model, I will be able to assign it to somebody. So if I know, let's say this wall here and this slabs and everything is getting clashed, I can assign it to, let's say, if I know it's a problem with the architectural model, I can assign it there. Ma'am, BIM360, let us, sorry, Pooja, I'm taking up the question, but okay. Ma'am, BIM360, let us clash like Navis. Yes, this is exactly like clash like Navis only. Even when we get into Navis work, you will be able to see a similar interface. Okay. So right now, let's say this flooring that we have created is clashing with this building outline. So you will be able to see the clashes, and then right now I'm not doing it because this is a live project. You can create a issue here. So if I have hundreds of clashes, but I know 10 of them are very critical and they should be addressed immediately, I can select that part and I can create an issue out of it. And I can then feed in information and let other teams know. So there are some issues that must have been created here. Let me just, so see, when there is no clash, you will not see those colors here. So there are no issues that are created as of now. But the moment you create an issue, you will be able to see. So I'll just show you how the issue looks like. So once I create an issue, it will ask me certain things like what is the location, where do you want to the issue to be marked. Let's say I'm marking an issue here. Okay, I'm not creating one because I'm in a live project, guys. So I can mark an issue here. I can feed in the information like uh, what what should be addressed while doing this issue. Is it a design? Is it a modeling error? What is it? I can write the title of it and I can assign it to a particular person. And I can also put in a date, like by end of this week, I want it to be resolved, or by end of next week, whatever date I want things to get resolved by, I can choose it as a due date. And I can write the root cause also, that what has caused this issue, and I can feed in all of this information and create and click on create. The moment you click on create, it gets saved and you will be able to see her. So the concerned person will get an email saying this particular issue has been highlighted for you. He can come into BIM 360 and see that particular issue, go back into his Revit model and resolve. Right now I'm only doing a clash between two of this models. So it's showing me that these are the models. If I want to select many more models, I can just go here and select those models. This ways you will be able to understand how many clashes are there in your project, how can they be resolved, how many of them. So if I close a particular issue, it will come into this closed tab. If I've assigned a particular issue to somebody, it's going to come into this assign tab. If there are active issues, they are going to get reflected in the active tab. So I will be able to bifurcate. I will be able to understand my project status based on the active clashes, closed clashes, and understand how good is my model and how good is the design algorithm. If I understand there are thousands and thousands of clashes, then I'll know there is serious problem with either the modeling that has been done or the design which is coming. So design becomes an issue, but not like in thousands. Modeling becomes an issue. So even if your wall is touching a particular element, it will show up, or it is crossing into getting into one or the other element, like the wall is getting into the slab by, let's say, 5 mm also, it's going to come as a clash. So this way I don't have all the concerned rights to do it, but you can do settings also. So let's say you don't want clashes to come up which are within the tolerance of 5 mm, 10 mm, 25 mm. You can filter it accordingly and only see the major ones. So that will help you solve the major ones on priority and then get into the ones which are on least. So this is about model coordination. This exactly works like Navis. Okay, you will be able to see a matrix of clashes between walls and walls, walls and columns, walls and slabs. All of that matrix will also be, you will be able to see. All right. Even so, as I said, the models in document management are linked to your model coordination. So let's say uh, I have published or uh, saved 12 copies of this first model. So model coordination will tell me that currently we are seeing the 12th copy, fourth copy, the third copy. So accordingly, I'll know that whether I'm in the latest version of my model or no before I run the clash test. I'll get to see there are 3583 clashes, 100 and 1936 clashes, 441. I'll also get a list of clashes that are coming up. Alright, there are 156 models. That is why we see so many clashes. But yeah, on a live project, there can be thousands and thousands of clashes which come. How to understand or how to add people to the project. So I have, let's say I've created a project and now I want to add 10 more people to this project and let them access the information. So until and unless you don't add people to this project, there is no way they can access. And it's not about adding, it's about giving them the correct rights. All right. So let me just try and remove certain IDs so that I can show you how to give them the rights to this project. Mm, okay. So I get into project admin. So this is how so before I even start with project admin, so Autodesk BIM 360, I've already shown you how the interface looks like. I've shown you where the document management is. Similarly, the upgraded version, which is Autodesk Construction Cloud, I'll show you how it, what is the interface and how does it look like. So the interface changes a little bit. So you will be able to control your project from this tab right here. You will be able to control your document management, model coordination, your design collaboration, all of them through this leftmost tab that you have. All right. Now, once you are into this document management, you will see all the tabs here which says files, which says the reports that we have created, the members that are there into the project. So all the tabs that you require or which are associated with the document management, you should be able to see here on the left. So now let's get into members, right? Now I want to, let's say, add a member to this project. So how can I do that? So I get into add members. All right. Let's say I type a particular email ID. I'm just gonna type my other email ID that I have. So let's have this email ID. And this is a registered email ID on 360 or Autodesk Construction Cloud. So I can put in the email ID. I can assign the company. Which company does it belong? Let's say I select one of the company. I can assign a particular role, which let's say I'm going to put it as architect. Now, what do I want this email ID to be? To be a project member, to be a project administrator, I can choose that. Let's say I just go with project member. All right. The moment I go with project member here, so it takes a while to get added and reflect here. That is why it said that it's going to take a while to get added. So the moment I add, I'll be able to control the permissions of how much I want that person to do. So I can't make everybody the admin of the project. If I do that, then they are going to really start, messing around and they will have all the permissions. So they'll be able to play around with a lot of things. And the moment you give everybody the admin rights, it becomes difficult to have your project in a very controlled manner. So I've added this email ID. The moment I click on the email ID, this tab comes up here. I can change anything that I want to and I can control. So do I want this email ID to use document management or no? So I can turn on and off. I can select design. Okay, I want that person to use design collaboration. I want that person to use model coordination. So I can control the the permissions to that particular email ID through the toggles that I have there. At any point of time, if I don't want to give them particular information, I can switch off that toggle and then I'll turn off the access to those products. Okay. So this is about adding members to your product to your project. If you have not added any member, nobody will be able to see the project. All right. So this is about adding members to your project. Now it just doesn't mean that you have once you have all your files in common data environment, that doesn't mean that your files are always available to be reviewed. All right. Let's say I only want the end client to review on a particular date only when I ask him to review it. I can't just ask him that keep on reviewing my models every day. Then those are my work in progress models. Obviously, there will be something that is pending. So what we set up a process is we tell them that we are going to create a file for him. So there is this tab here which lets you create reviews and assign it to particular people to review it. So I click on create review. I get it. It lets me, it allows me what all files do I have. Let's say I have this one particular file. I click create. The moment I click create, it's going to ask me what workflow you want to set. So you can set up a workflow. Let's say it goes to the head of design, then it goes to the I mean, at the client end, if they have some architects or structural engineers, you can assign it to different people who are a part of your project and the members you have them. You can create, you want to put it to the BIM manager, the BIM coordinators, the directors, everybody, you can assign it in a workflow and then put that workflow. If you have no workflow, you can just write the review name saying, I want you to review store number one. Okay, review name is store number one. The file is already added and I can right now the workflow is not created. That is why it's not letting me select the workflow. You can create workflow through the settings tab. Like let's say one step approval. I just want one person to review it and approve it. I can name this uh, process like one step approval or just head of design approval, whatever it is, whatever your approval stages are. Select which of the IDs that I want to put as my one step approval. Let's say I just add my ID and initiator. I can add initiator as everybody. Everybody can initiate this review process and approval. I just select my name. All right. I can only approve the model. And in how many days do I want the approver to do it? Let's say I put it out as 7 days and I save this work. The moment I have this workflow saved, I can get into reviews. I can create a review. I can select one of the file, create. I can select this review process, review name, let's say store number one, and I click on submit. The moment I click on submit, email will come to the reviewer or email will go to the particular reviewer. Do I want to notify anybody else? So let's say I don't want to notify anybody else and I click on send. The moment I click on send, such kind of review starts creating. So if you have one review, two review, three, four, 10 reviews also if you have, it is initiated right now, it's initiated by me. Let's say somebody else has initiated it and next action has to be taken by me. By when am I supposed to take the action? 7 days. So that is March 14, starting 7 days from today. So when me as a reviewer, I click on this, I get this, I get this interface which says review number one, what is the name of the review, who has initiated it, on what date, are there any notes that are added for me? So I can just say start review. The moment I start reviewing it, I will be able to now select this. Sorry, just hide this. So review status. Let's say I've reviewed it, I've seen the entire model, it all looks great, everything is good. So either I can say I am approving it, but I have certain comments which I want you to do it before my approval is considered, or I can say I'm rejecting the submission, or I can say approved. The moment I click on approved, it says submit review. I can add in any notes that I want to add, and I can click on submit. The moment I click on submit, my my status of open review changes to closed. So now my review is closed here, and I have a status of approved. Rejected is 0. I have approved the file. Number of files are these many, and I finished on this particular date. So this is how. So rather than send, like when you send out your submissions to your jurors or your faculties to take out the prints, you do all of that. So this is a very automated and a very controlled process, where even if I add 2, 3 approvers, one for, let's say approver one approves it, it goes to approver two, then he approves it, it goes to approver three, then he approves it, and then the final approval is there. So this ways I have it documented. So at any point of time, if somebody says, are you sure where your Revit models approved for this particular store? I can say yes, it is approved, and it all becomes like a status. I can export this into the Excel format. So I will have a status. If I have 100 stores, when did I raise them for review? When did they get approved? Who has approved it? Are there any comments to the approval? How many of were rejected? So I can do this entire process, and this becomes like a solid documentation. It becomes so the person who has reviewed it, now it's his complete liability that okay, he is being authoritative about it, and since he has approved it, it's considered as a full and final approval because we have put him into the approval process. All right. So the method of putting out information for reviews, approvals, so rather than taking the PDF of it or downloading the Revit file, attaching it on email, sending it to somebody saying, please approve our modules, then that person reviewing it, sending you back the approval or email. So then those emails getting lost in hundred of emails that you get. So rather than all of this information being in different modes, keeping everything in a one consolidated area, one consolidated environment. So at any point of time, if I want to see, okay, I've put 100 stores for reviews, only 20 are approved, 30 are rejected, 30 are still pending for review. I will have a count, I will have a track of things. Other members of the project, they will have a track of things that, okay, one store is approved, second store is approved. So we all are on the same page. We all are having the same information. The loss of information becomes bare minimum here. All you will have to do is just track your emails correctly for notifications. And even if you're not tracking your emails, make sure to check your BIM360 so that you will always get notification that you need to review this particular model was shared, this new model was added. You will get an entire information. Now, once I know my model is reviewed, there is one more thing called as transmittals when you deal with construction projects and the live projects and in the construction industry. There is something called as transmittals. So now my models are reviewed, everything is done. It's I want to send it out to some authority who needs to see it before I construct it or something like that. Some final person who needs to have a track of all this. I can create transmittals. In that transmittal, I can attach my files and send it. So that becomes a document saying, okay, the files were transmitted or sent on this particular day, and this is the final package. So the reason all these steps are done is because it's a industry requirement. Second, it's a way of having your final documents in place. So you just can't put out your work in progress models and just randomly submit it or be like it's on BIM 360, so that means it's final. No. If you know that it's your final model, you have completed the entire work, you have developed the entire model, put it out for review, put it out in transmittal, send it across to everybody so that everybody has an official email officially on their Autodesk BIM 360 as an information link. Okay. So this is about your how to send out information, how to review particular information, how to make it as an official document. All right. Let's say there are issues that are created. So issues are not always created in clash coordination or when you detect a clash. But let's say when I'm reviewing a model and I understand there is an issue. So I can create an issue. I can mark what kind of issue it is. I can assign it to different people that you really need to look into this particular issue. I can give out the details. I can put in the location of that particular file. All right. And this ways, I will always have a track of the problems that are a part of my project and how many of them are getting resolved. So it's not that only when you are into your model coordination, you can create clashes as an issue. If while reviewing a 2D plan, a 3D model, if you find an issue, you can create one so that it gets documented and the other person who's working on the model knows that he needs to rectify. All right. So this is about your understanding how to add members, understanding how to create issues, understanding how to put it into a review process, officially releasing your documents as a part of transmittal. Right now, just one part that is majorly left for me to introduce you guys is when there are project meetings, we all know that so all of that also goes out via emails when we are working together. So rather than putting out again in different platforms, you can create meetings here in in the project management tab at the top that you see here. In the project management tab, there is a meetings tab. You can create your meetings. All right. In that meeting, you so rather than documenting MOMs in your Word document in your Excel, you can create a meeting here first. Once the meeting is completed, you can change it into an MOM. You can describe everything that was discussed into the meeting, mark the minutes, the tab that you see here, and save. So if you have weekly meetings, weekly design coordination meetings, you can schedule all of them, save all of them on BIM360 in the project management tab, and then you can even minute the meetings then and there. So this ways again, the whole purpose of keeping information in one place is solved rather than keeping your MOMs in Word documents, in Excels, then looking out for them. Trust me, when there are meetings which starts happening every week, it gets very difficult to track the MOM. And especially when they are on emails and you have hundred of other emails coming out, it becomes very difficult to track and understand which of the coordination point is open, which is closed. So all of that can be tracked in this meetings tab that you have in the project management project. All right. So this is more about this is about the, I would say, 80% of BIM 360 that I've already told you about. This is majorly what it consists of, and this is these are the products that you will be using regularly when you start using BIM 360. There are other common data environments like Aconex, Procore, but then all of them don't deal with the entire review process, uh, markup process, revision clouds, text that you need to add to viewing the models. All of them don't provide the services entirely. Autodesk BIM 360 provides a very wholesome service, and it is sufficient enough to drive your entire project on this particular common data environment and then take it forward. All right. Apart from this, I don't think there is other things which I need to clarify for you guys. Just give me a minute. If you have any questions in the meantime, so I'll just show you how the issue management also looks like and how the entire interface looks like. So when you have created multiple issues, this is how it will look like. If the open ones are there, you will see them as open in the status. If there are answered, you will see them as answered. Now, who is it assigned to? Is it assigned to the MEP team, architectural team? What is the name of that issue? So you'll be able to see all of that. If you open a particular issue, you will be able to see it. That what is the due date of it? What is the location? what is the precise issue? Is it a design coordination issue? So you will be able to, you can attach photos of the models. So this ways, all of these issues can be tracked and you will be able to locate them in one place. Okay. Apart from that, once you create transmittal, this is how an interface looks like. So this is the transmittal created. And one is just the documents are shared. In the second one, the models were shared. So this is also into the document management tab. Once you open one of the transmittal, you will be able to see that who has created it, who was it sent to, and all of that. So this is more of that rather than sending it via email, you can use the transmittal tab to share the file information. Get into collaborate tab, which I just draw a couple of walls here. I save this model. I'm saving it on desktop for now. I get into collaborate. I collaborate this. So when you are working amongst the team members who are locally connected with you, you do within your network. If you have to put it on BIM360, this option right here lets you do it. So in BIM360 document management, you click on OK. Let's say I put it out in, and then once you click on OK, let me take you through. So once you click on BIM360 document management, OK, this ID that is logged in at the top here will directly take you to BIM360, which is associated with this ID. So I just have to quickly get into any one of the project here, and let me just see which one can I get into. So I can get into this particular folder. Then it will ask me in which folder do you want to insert. So I have this project files, architecture, and I can just click on initiate. Okay. So the moment I click on initiate, this entire window comes up saying the work sharing is getting started, work sets are created, uploading model to the cloud, and all of that. That in that time we can just sit back and wait for it to get uploaded. So this is just me hosting my model onto BIM360. Okay. This does not mean every time the copy is going to get saved there. But yes, next time when I want to open this file, I can directly open through BIM360. Now, how do I publish it? I get into manage cloud models. I am just in the collaboration tab. I'm not moving away from collaboration tab. I am into manage cloud models. All right. Then it's going to ask me which project. So I'm going to select the concerned project where I've already collaborated my file. I click on that and then we're going to wait. This always takes time. You just have to wait till it opens up our project. So when I was talking about work in progress model, so when you sync relinquish reload, that is a work in progress model. Now the moment I publish it, it becomes my model on Windows. So I'll show you how it happens. Okay, great. So I see this model. So it's not getting reflected here because I've not synced relinquished at the moment. But the moment I see the model here, let me filter it out by date if it by chance if I comes up. Oh, all right now. So let me just, I'm sorry. The moment I collaborated, I'm supposed to sync. The moment I sync it, it comes up like save to local, reload, load latest, save to central. All of this happens. You can save to local, successfully synced. I relinquish. I get into manage cloud, get into the concerned project. Again, it's going to take some time to load, but it's okay. We can wait because I want to show you how it reflects on BIM 360. Okay, so this is the project one. So we had published project one. This is the name of the Revit file. So the moment I click on this small arrow option here, it tells me that you are publishing the latest version and you will be able to see the model, the default 3D view gets published, all 2D sheets get published. And I said, okay, fine. I'm okay with all of this. And now it says that the state you will be able to, you will be, the publishing time takes, I mean, it does take time to, all right. If you have a very heavy model, it's going to take sometimes hours and hours to reflect on BIM 360. If you have a very lighter model, it will be immediately reflect. So now you won't understand whether it's published or not. But how you can check whether it was published or not is we'll have to get into that project and just make sure we see how does it look like after it's getting published and where do we understand that it's published. And I'll be able to show you how it changes from V1, V2 and all of that. So I get into my document management and after which I get onto this rightmost. So in architecture, now you see there is this project one and it says version 3, last updated on this date. So now in version 3, it will tell you that when was version 1 uploaded, when was version 2 uploaded, when was version 3 uploaded. All right. Then in the published log also, you will be able to see that. See, published logs tells me whether the process is complete or not. Since we had a very lighter model, it immediately got published. If you have a very heavy model, it says extracting, published. You will be able to see the details also of the entire published log, saying 100% completed and all of that. Okay. The moment it says published, that means now this copy is saved on BIM. If I give you guys the access, you will be able to see this entire. So we had created certain ones. Now you'll be able to see those ones. It takes time to load, but yeah. Now we are able to see this exactly the same walls that we had created that was available to us in Revit. We are seeing that we have levels, so you will be able to see level 1, 2, the footing level, all of those levels that are available to us in Revit. Like if you get into east elevation, all of these levels that you see here, now they are available to you here in 360 years. Clear? Is it clear, guys? Of how the entire process happens. So collaboration tab becomes very important when you start dealing with projects. So I can relinquish this and I can, let's say my work is done. I'm saying relinquish and I'm closing my mod. Next day when I come into office, how do I open the same mod? So I have to make sure I'm logged in. I have to just select the project from this BIM 360 option. Here you will be able to see Autodesk BIM 360 at top. I'll have to get into my location, let's say architecture. I'll have to open my project one. I just have to click on this. Now it's opening my model. It's opening my model now from BIM 360. And it's not that every day you work, so every day you have to publish. No, only when you want, only when you know that you have made substantial amount of changes and you want Harish's mind blown. I don't know. Harish, how am I supposed to understand this smiley that you are saying, the emoji that you are saying? But yeah. So let's say I've opened my model now. I don't want these walls like this. I want, let's say, walls somewhere here. So all I'll have to just do is sing, okay, and relinquish and close my file. Next day when I open, it will again come to this stage. I don't have to publish every day. We set up timelines like I want to publish once in a week, twice in a week. I can just relinquish, close, and it's done. I don't have to publish it. So my modified date can be different and my published date can be different. Okay. So modify is your latest date. My published date and my published time can be a different. I think this is much more, this is enough for now for you to at least understand how common data environments work and how they let you access information real time.
So start working towards your final outputs. All right, we have been mentioning this since week 1, and now is the time to put it into effect. Start working towards your final outputs, the kind of things that you will be putting on your portfolio. Okay, it's no longer the testing phase now. It's no longer the approval phase. We are working towards the final things that you will be presenting. With that in mind, we end the session in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye guys. Good night. Happy Holi everybody.